that you can do, and headrest up, go ahead and put your headrest up. You can do this because with the, yeah, with your class plan, just, you can have it with you. You don't have to worry about, just look at it, it's okay. All right, so let's go ahead and have your feet on the bar in parallel and about the, about just where's the comfortable place in the middle of your feet. And I'd like you to take a moment and just settle into the carriage. Maybe place your hands on your low belly and begin some diaphragmatic breathing so that as you inhale through your nose, you feel the expansion between your belly button and your pubic bone. And in your mind's eye, just watching it rise and fall. And as you settle in here, let's just take a moment to do a check-in. So just close your eyes if you need to. Check in, see how the feet are feeling on the foot bar. Notice how your pelvis is sitting on the carriage. Does one side feel heavier than the other side? And what about your low back? Is your low back resting easily? Is one part of your back more tense than the other? And same with your rib cage. How's your rib cage sitting on the carriage? Is it even on both sides? Does it feel elevated on one side? And taking that gaze, inner gaze up to your shoulder blades and your shoulders. And just take a second and notice what's happening at the shoulders. Is one shoulder blade lower than the other, heavier than the other? And then right at the tops of your shoulders. So when we begin this, we always end up sliding around, but it's nice to not have your shoulders jammed up against the shoulder pads. You want to have a little space there so you're not just jamming yourself into the shoulder pads. Just notice how that feels, how your neck feels, nice and long, and feeling of neutral. So the reason I have your headrest up, two reasons, I'm looking for a neutral cervical spine. So a lot of people that you'll be working with will tend to have forward head posture, and they're gonna need that headrest up to get their spine in their cervical spine in neutral. But also, and it's easier to hear when people, when the headrest is up a little bit, yeah, and it's easier to see somebody, you have to show something. So let's return to your breath. So we were taking a look at your diaphragmatic breath and really trying to get the diaphragm activated. So now take your hands and place them like this. So your fingers, your thumbs are around your waist and your fingers are kind of on your low back. And take that same breathing pattern, but see if you can send the air into this pocket, into your low back, just like right around where your waistband is. Try to take a moment, inhaling through your nose, and just feel that expansion in your low back, hopefully, as you breathe into this space. And try 3 or 4 breaths here like that. Good. And then we're going to move your hands for another few breaths to the rib cage. So I like them kind of like this. So you want to inhale and feel your ribs expanding into your hands, so expanding laterally into the palms of your hands. And on the exhale, use your hands to help you squeeze your ribs together. Yeah, allow the air to come out of your mouth if you need to. Inhale, your ribs expand laterally. Exhale, you can almost feel your ribs squeezing together at your sternum bone, yeah? And let's try a couple more breaths like that. Inhale laterally, this is thoraco-lateral breathing. Exhale, it's coming together. You feel this narrowing right at the sternum. Another one like that. And as you're doing this, just take a note in your mind's eye what's happening with your core in terms of warming up your body. And then we're going to take one hand, put it up here, right below your collarbone, and the other hand down by your pubic bone, just above your pubic bone. And what you're going to, same breathing, but the idea is to feel your hands come apart on the inhale. So you inhale, the breath expands the torso, so it's lengthening in between your two hands. Exhale, your hands will relax, come back together. And it's a very small movement, but see if you can make it happen for you. Inhale, opening up the torso. Exhale, let it relax. Couple more like that, without changing the curve of your spine. Yeah. And now you can just put your hands back on your belly, or by your side, whichever you prefer. We're gonna do some that are just typical Pilates breathing. But what we're gonna do is take a full inhale through the nose. Your mouth will be open on the exhale, and you're gonna exhale, exhale, exhale until there's no exhale left, okay? So you're gonna inhale through the nose, fill your lungs all the way up, all the way to the top of your collarbone, and exhale through the mouth, exhale, 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 exhale till there's nothing left. And try about 3 more breaths like that, exactly. Inhale all the way in, inhale, 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 inhale. And exhale all the way out, 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 out. Good. Let's do one more like that. Inhaling in, filling it all the way in. All the way out. Yes. Okay. Now we're going to take that same breathing, but instead of your mouth being open like that, imagine a tire with a nail in it, or an inner tube with a hole. So hissing through your teeth. And the same thing, you want to hiss until all the air is out. So you're going to inhale all the way in through your nose. Keep going, feel your pelvic floor start to work, feel your low belly start to work, your waist is working, and we'll take 3 more breaths like that. And make a noise, let a lot of air, push the air through your teeth so you can really feel that resistance. This is like resistance training for your diaphragm. 2 more. And feeling the low belly and the pelvic floor starting to work. And 1 more. Inhale all the way in. Keep emptying, 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 emptying. Good. Now, once you're finished with this breath, take a second, find your neutral spine. So at this point, your core is warmed up a little bit. You should feel your sacrum bone heavy on the carriage. Rib cage and shoulder blades are heavy. Kind of shoulders relaxed away from the pads. And with your feet right on the balls of your feet, we're going to start in parallel. Take a moment, feel your feet on the bar. Now, when you go to take the carriage away, the idea is not to push through your feet. The idea is just to straighten your knees. So with your breath, you're going to straighten your knees and the carriage will move away. Yeah. I'm going to move you to a yellow when you come back in. Because I want you to feel the difference in the spring tension.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Good. So we're gonna do this for a few minutes, but we're only doing about 6 or 8. Okay. So I want you to take a note of this spring tension. This is 2 reds and a yellow. And the idea in footwork, when you go to take the carriage away, it's not like we're doing a squat motion, right? This is a squat, what you're doing. But if we were doing a squat in the weight room, we would tell the client to push away from the floor, right? We would say, with your weight, drive through the floor. We're not here, we're trying to not have that be the first part of this engagement. We want to have the core engaged on the sacrum and let the feet just be part of the kinetic chain as the carriage pushes away. Then, what I'm going to do is we're going to move your foot position next time around, and then we're going to change the spring tension so you can feel the difference. So move to the middle of your foot, sort of right on the arch. And then go ahead and do the same thing here. So just straightening your legs, trying not to initiate by pushing through your feet, keeping your sacrum grounded, shoulders down, knees parallel. So what I'm looking at is I'm looking to see if I stand at the end of the reformer, if the feet, knees, hips, and armpits are all lined up like railroad tracks, right? Nice and straight. All right, finishing the one that you're on, we're gonna come in and change the weight so that you get a sense of the difference in the resistance. So what I'm looking at as a teacher, what I'm gonna see now is when you go to initiate, is it that same smooth movement that you just created? Good. So in terms of determining, spring resistance, spring tension, for these things, what I'm looking at is, can you straighten your legs without having to shove through your feet to get the carriage away? It's not a leg press, right? So if I have too much weight on, someone's gonna have to shove through. So that gives you an idea of where to tweak, whether you're going with a higher or lower weight. Go ahead and come in and let's move your feet to your heels. Yeah, but parallel, we're gonna stay parallel, yeah, just on your heels with your feet flexed, yes. And the same thing, you're just straightening your legs. You are coming through your heels as your legs lengthen, and that's really good. And we're gonna keep the angle here. The angle will change. Go ahead and open up. So all of this will open, yeah. Yeah, instead of the foot rocking, being locked. Yeah, so try that again, and open. Yeah, feel how that is different? Can you tell it's different? And slide it back in. Good. So for you, like, I'm just talking out loud, keep going. Okay. So Daniel wants to be on the outside of his heel, and I'm gonna wanna cue him to put more, both heels, put more effort into his inner heel. Try again. Yeah, that's better. Okay, yes. All right, good. Now, keeping your, bring the carriage all the way in, staying on the heel. Now we're gonna go wide, in a wide V. Really wide, take it out wide, and externally rotate, like really wide, like sumo wrestler wide, right? Yeah. Yes, okay. And so from here, same thing. Now, what I want you to think about is your sacrum bone and your tailbone. So if you think about your sacrum, you can feel it under you with your tail hanging out, yeah? When you go ahead and press away, when you come in, I want you to think about that tail and sacrum like a sled. Like if I had a rope on your tail and I'm pulling it straight into the bar. So you're really flexing at the hip, yes, and lengthening back out. So what tends to happen in some of these positions is that people want to posterior tilt. And what we want to do is help encourage them to keep their sacrum bone grounded, so they're staying closer to a neutral spine. Same thing here, you want to let your feet, to let them relax as your ankles relax a little as you get one more time, like that, yeah. And gliding your tail in. Great. All right, let's finish the one you're on. How's the weight, everybody? You like this weight better? Okay, come all the way in. And we'll go on like bird on a perch, but in Pilates V. So you're on the like balls of your toes. In Pilates V, the balls, and way here. Yeah, toes wide. There we go. Yeah, and knees, I'm gonna ask for you guys to have your knees lined up with your armpits. Yeah, so your heels are squeezing together. Same thing, you're just gonna straighten your legs out. And folding back in, being mindful about the alignment of your knees. Yes?
In this position, something that happened to me is when I go up and squeeze the legs in, rotate, I move, my hips start to turn.
Oh, yeah.
So what can I do to avoid that? Because I saw it happen to many people. They slide and they lost that flatness.
Yeah, that's a good question. Put your hands right here at your groin area, yeah? Feel that flexion. Yeah. And so this is kind of what I was going for with the wide V. Do you mind if I reach in? Okay, just gonna reach in here and go like that. Yeah. Okay. So then go ahead and move away. Externally rotate your hips. Try to keep this happening here. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, you're wiggly.
Yeah, I can.
And then go ahead and just come back in. So again, that same sliding. So that's happening here.
How I can.
So we want to try to think, one of the reasons one of the things one has to fight is that your feet are higher than your waist. So when we go out, it's gonna want to flatten. The main thing is to try to keep this where like if there's a seat belt right there.
Okay.
Yeah? You're doing okay, Daniel?
Yes.
Okay, so finishing the one that you're on, let me just watch you for a second. See how if yours does the same thing. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a pelvis, because you were having some pelvic issues.
Oh, yeah, on my
I think
belly
it's your
button.
hip flexors.
Yeah.
Okay, so next time you come in, just drop your heels down into parallel. And we'll do some running. So you're gonna push one heel down and the other heel down. And the idea, one of the ideas, is to articulate through the bones of your feet. So you've got these 26 bones in your feet, 33 joints, and what you're trying to do, like a cat on carpet, you're trying to knead all those joints and wake them up. Yeah.
Do you grab the bar of the foot bar with your toes? When I'm also moving
You
the
can,
toes?
you don't have to, but you can. It could be on the balls of your feet for this as well, because sometimes, do you feel slippery here?
No.
You're okay, all right. So, yeah, so what you can do as a teacher is come all the way in, yeah, and then you can just give it a little here. And go ahead, drop your heel. And this one. All right, good job. All right, so from here, we're going to go to hands in straps. And again, I don't work with you guys all the time, so I'm gonna suggest one red. And you may want more, but let's start with one red. Go ahead and bring the carriage in. Got it? Okay. And so, when Tracy teaches these classes, she'll tell the students to just get rid of those straps and lay them on the floor because they're noisy. If you have a class full of people with those clanging, that can be really noisy. I like them on the pegs personally, because I like to be able to not have to roll around and find the handles. So we'll see how things work out today. So, keeping this idea of your seat belt on your pelvis, belly strong, bring one leg up to tabletop and the other leg up to tabletop. And from this position, grounding your pelvis into the carriage, yeah, getting your neutral spine, feel your belly strong, yes. With an exhale, bring your hands down to your hips, yeah. And then we're just going to, let's go do that again. Inhale up, exhale down, and you wanna feel your lats engaged. So kind of that sense of pinching at your armpits. And the next time your hands are down by your hips, keep them there. Hold here. And we're just gonna make small circles about the size of a, small beach ball maybe, or a Pilates ball. Yeah, nice and small, and then reverse your circle. Yeah, so this is the way it's presented in the manual. I like to do it this way, so your hands toward the ceiling. Yeah, inhale to prepare, exhale, hands down by your side. Yeah. Out to a T, inhale and back up to the top. And let's do that 3 more times. Exhale down, inhale around, back to the top. Yeah, good. Good, one more. And the next time you find yourself with your hands back to the top, we'll reverse the circle. So go wide. How's this weight, you guys? Is it easy?
Yeah, this is yellow.
That's a red.
Red.
Do you want more weight?
I think this is good.
Okay. And then we're gonna finish this last one and bring your hands down to your side. Yeah, and all you're gonna do is bend your elbows and straighten. And you're being mindful to keep your wrists nice and straight so your wrists aren't getting kinky. Yeah.
So for the arm circles, when would be a good indication to increase the spring?
If they're just whipping the carriage around.
Oh, so more control.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If they're going so fast that they're not showing effort.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so we just did some bunch of triceps. Let's do a couple more. And from here, we're going to add a trunk curl. So, bend your elbows. Yeah. So what you're gonna do, inhale to prepare, exhale, tuck your chin, straighten your arms, curl your head and shoulders up. You can just keep them bent from here, and then back. We're gonna do 2 more like this. Rolling up, looking, and as you roll up, you're looking for your thighs or even your pubic bone. So you want we want the chin to tuck. That's a thing that we've missed out in the fitness world, I think. Good, all right, take a little break. From here, we're going to go right into hundreds. I just wanna make sure that's right, yeah. So, you have 1 red. How is the weight? You think like you wanna go a little higher for hundreds, or you're all right with this?
I'm good with it.
Okay, all right, so back into your tabletop position, anchoring your sacrum, belly strong, arms up toward the ceiling. So when your options, you can exhale like you just practiced. When you exhale and curl up and do a trunk curl and begin from there. When you can also choose to straighten your legs like a straight hundreds. It's up to you. You can keep your knees bent or reach your legs out straight, whichever you prefer. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, head and shoulders roll up, and inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3. Now here's the hard part. Try not to let the carriage move. That looks pretty good. So what you're trying to do to make that happen is to keep your arms reaching into the straps. Yeah, that helps a lot, and keep the lats engaged. Good, I haven't been counting, but I think we're at about 5. Does that sound right? Good, so we're gonna do a few more. Good, keep the shoulders reaching down. Of course, if you need to put your head down, put it down, that's okay. Good, and let's do 1 more set of breathing. Beautiful, finishing the exhales and coming all the way in, and you can just put your knees into your chest. You can put your straps on the pegs.
Oh, sorry.
All right, now from here, we're just going to take a couple of pelvic tilts. So, thinking about your spine nice and long, when you're going to go into a pelvic tilt, I want you to think about, you're not trying to jam your low back down into the carriage. I want you to think about a wave. So, it's kind of, you tuck your pelvis and you roll through. So it's a tuck, it's a movement that's not sharp, it's a movement that's wave-like. So you're just back and forth, reaching your low back toward your rib cage and then arching it back the other way with your breath. Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah. So, let's try it, let's put this away. We're gonna add weight anyway.
Pilates muy disorganizado.
This we can add more weight too, so
Sí, sí,
and for now, just keep your hips down for now. You're just gonna roll back and forth. Just back and forth, just warming up your low back. Yeah. For this next bridge, we're gonna need to take your headrest down. So just a reminder of the rule: hips up, head down. Yeah. Hands down by your side. Inhaling to prepare. We're going to articulate your spine up to your shoulder blades, trying to, if you can, to keep the carriage still. If it's struggling on your hamstrings, tell me and I'll get you some more weight. And peeling down one at a time, rolling all the way out to your tailbone, like rolling out pie crust dough. Yep. Inhale up at the top, exhale, Articulate, feeling each vertebra coming through and reaching all the way to the tail. Let's do 2 or 3 more. As you're going through this, think about what you're doing now with your hamstrings to stabilize the carriage. We're going to, after we finish this, go ahead and do 1 more. You're going to be pushing the carriage away. So this is where that sweet spot of the right spring tension is really important. So let's try, go ahead and come in all the way down so we all do it together. Go ahead and peel down. Yeah, there you go. Take a second. Yeah, good. All right, so we're going to do 3 to 4. We're going to check it out. You'll peel up just to your shoulder blades, stabilize. Now, if you start to push away and there's not enough weight, your hamstrings are screaming, stop, and I'll give you some more weight, okay? So inhaling to prepare, especially if you've got a bigger body, so you might need more weight. So let's take a look, peeling up. And press the carriage out and in, just in and out for now, 4 times.
Just in and out.
Just in and out for now. Yeah. into your chest or whatever feels good. Try a couple more. How's this weight?
Comfortable and challenging.
Okay. And so, what we're going to do next is going to be the one leg version, alright? So again, sweet spot of the spring, so that if we go lighter, you know, it'll be easier to push away with one leg. It'll also be like crazy on your hamstrings.
Yeah.
So my suggestion is to keep the weight the same, and if it's too much, we can always come down, okay? So what will happen is, let me ask you to go ahead and peel up into a bridge, so get into your strong bridge.
Did you want our heels on them
Um,
or the ball?
I prefer the middle of the foot on
Okay.
top of the bar. This is me personally, because I feel like I can stand on the bar and have less hamstring.
Okay.
You can adjust where your foot is on the bar will make a difference in where this really affects you. So then bring one leg up. Let's take the right leg up and straight. Push the carriage a lot. Yeah, take your time. Yeah, do you need more weight?
No, it's cramping.
And then you're gonna come in, lower your leg over the bar, straight knee, come back, push away. Come in, lower your leg over the bar, yeah, come back, yeah. Good, all right, and then finishing this set, come on in, come all the way, put your foot down, articulate down. Good, okay. Let's try a little bit more weight, see if that helps you.
I'm cramping. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. Oh, I do expect it.
Yeah. It's tricky.
That's that sweet spot of like where my hamstrings are kicking, where my feet need to be. So let's try, for me, I like to be kind of on top of the bar. See if that helps you. Okay, so left leg this time. So peeling up. Yeah.
Up.
Yeah, and then bring it in. And adjust your down.
Okay.
That's it. And we're gonna keep this, yeah, there you go, keeping this solid, yes. And finish, put your foot down and come down, yeah. Good job, yeah. When you're done, take a break. Good, yeah, you got it. So we're working to keep this, both sides even, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, one more, good job. And put your foot and feel it down, good job. All right, hug your knees into your chest, stretch out. Or maybe it feels better to just straighten your legs out and stretch out your hamstrings. So while you're stretching, I'm gonna switch you to a red, and you want a red and a blue, or a red and a yellow? Red and a blue. All right, let's see how it goes. We're gonna go into feet in straps, so push the carriage away. Put your foot in the long strap. Yeah. Yep. Okay, good. All right. So at about a 45-degree angle, go ahead and straighten your legs at about out. Yep. And feet and knees together. Good. All right. Now, if you want your head up so you can see better, hear better, and I think it would be better for your neck. And how about you? Do you want yours up? No. We put it down for the bridges. Yeah. All right. So high point and low point. What we're looking for. Take a second here. Find your neutral pelvis, neutral spine. All right. So you know where you are in space. What we're trying to do again is create a crease right here at your hip flexor area in your groin, so that the idea. I'm going to pull this out so you don't, I don't pull me out. Stab That's all right. So if this is your femur bone, what we're trying to do is get it to just roll in the hip socket, right? So nothing's happening. I'm going to turn this way so you can see. Nothing's happening with the low back.
Okay.
It's just the femur bone rolling in and out of the hip socket. So as you let what compromises that is that when, I'm gonna just push your feet, so don't do anything. When your legs go up, if that crease isn't happening, you're gonna lose neutral spine. So what we're trying to do is find that place, go ahead and lower your legs. Is you're gonna find that place when you come to high point, before which this wants to happen. So go ahead and let your feet come up.
So now it's
Up there, yeah, perfect, yeah. And then to come down, what I like to cue is push your feet into the straps and lengthen them out, And again, you're only going down as far as this doesn't arch away from you can maintain the curvature without arching away.
And you want the feet parallel?
Yes, I mean, it's teacher's choice, but yes, for today, we're going parallel. So I'm gonna imagine that there's a bungee cord on your tailbone,
Okay.
and if I'm pulling it this way, I'm pulling your tail this way as your feet go toward the ceiling.
So
Like your sits bones are pushing toward the bar.
when my leg to the ceiling.
So push your sits bones into, yeah, push into, yes, yeah, yeah.
Oh my God, that's, okay. That's amazing.
Okay. So let's take your feet to Pilates B and do the same thing a few times, just high point and low point. No, just Pilates B, heels together, toes apart. And heels together, I'm gonna move you.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. And then same thing. Good. So I'm gonna keep working here, this external rotation.
Okay.
So what I see, hang in there, hang
Sorry
on.
about that.
No, you're fine, keep going. I think you need a prop that doesn't wiggle on you. See if I can find one. Here, let's try this. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna put a prop in between your feet because you have this knee valgus that's causing your knees to go in. So I'm just creating space because you'll never put your heels together that way because your knees are in the way, right? So try something like that. Does that make a difference for you? Okay. All right, so we'll
So
just,
you're not supposed to like roll them in, the legs
yeah,
in,
I'm just gonna come up here for a second.
like that?
Yeah, okay, yeah. So put your feet on me and then you're gonna take your femur bones and squeeze your butt. So you're gonna squeeze into this external rotation.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So are you okay holding this? I know it's an inner thigh challenge. But finishing the one that you're on, you're just gonna frog again. So you're gonna pull your heels towards your seat. Yeah, so let's get all the way down. So go ahead and come back up and come back down to your low point. And let's try to find that external rotation in your thighs. And just bend your knees outward towards your shoulders. Yeah, I know it's hard with that block. You're doing great. In fact, yeah, is that better? Okay, and then straighten out. Push out. Squeeze your seat. Yeah, so it's like your thigh muscles are trying to wrap externally around the femur bone. You know, like you could wrap them around and they tuck up underneath your butt. I know this is hard, Daniel. You're doing great.
Thank you.
Last one. Yeah, good. And we'll push that away and I'm gonna get this off so you don't have to worry about that anymore. Okay, and so from here, wide V's. So what I'd like you to do is go to your froggy position and just froggy in. Knees are wide. This may be what you were talking about before, I can't remember. So this is your position, all right? So we're gonna keep the carriage still, it's not gonna move. I'm gonna ask you to put your right leg in a V shape without moving the carriage. Nice straight legs. Left leg in a V shape. Good. Then they're gonna come together at the bottom like a piece of pizza. Piece of pizza. Froggy in. Now we're gonna start with the other side. Keep the carriage still. Straighten the left leg out, nice, strong and straight. Left leg out, straight and strong. And then a piece of pizza. Yeah, and keep going.
Thank you.
So you have nice, long adductors. We're gonna go quite not so wide, so maybe there, and then coming in, yeah, and then,
No point.
and then froggy, and the other, I don't know which side you went, but nice, and, yeah, you're good, yeah, and there, yeah, and, yeah. Otherwise, you get way out here, and this is so long on the groin, it's too much for those little ligaments.
So it's just a little bit wider than the shoulders.
For you, yeah.
Yeah, okay, for me.
Yeah, for you, for today, for you, yeah. Okay, so is this what you were talking about?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
And then
it
this
was.
one?
It's, wide V's.
Okay.
I'll have to look at the manual and see. I think it's called, I'm not sure what it's called. It's right before big circles. So once you get there, then you're just gonna go around and just makes it, now you can make some nice big circles. Double check the weight, make sure it's not too much on your inner thighs. Nice and wide. Down and around. And really explore the length. See where you can go without overdoing it. You wanna go the sense of, you know, when you get up in the morning and you have this nice long stretch and it feels good, but if you went any further than that, it wouldn't be good.
Yeah.
Like that. You want that sensation. Okay, make sure you go both directions, about 4 to 6 times. And we'll go ahead and finish the one that you're hopefully got the chance to do both directions. So once you're done, I'm gonna ask you to come out of the straps. We're gonna have one red. And we're going to do some roll downs. So you'll be facing the other direction. How many reds? One red.
Ooh, just one.
You can always add more, but we'll start with one. So
Get down.
you're gonna, head this down. You're gonna be facing the risers. And I like to do this, I like to do it and scoot up just a little bit. And you can cross your legs so that they fit in between the shoulder pads, yes. Okay.
Oh, you said one red.
Oh, yes. Okay, so first of all, ideally, look how nice and tall you are. You know, you're vertical from your hips because you don't have tight low back hamstrings, right? And you're doing pretty good, but go ahead and try to straighten your knees and see what happens, yeah. So see when he straightens his leg, it comes off of his sits bones a little bit. So he's gonna need to bend his knees slightly so you're gonna need to scoot way up because you're gonna roll back, all right? You need enough room, maybe another couple of inches, yeah. So I like to teach this like this. So hold the straps like you're holding a pair of dirty socks.
The big one or the small one?
Let's go with the small one just because of your space. And I'm gonna lower your bar, okay, because your head's coming back this way. And I don't want anybody to hit their head, right? All right, so dirty socks. So the only thing you're doing with these straps is they are connecting you to the machine. Shoulders down, arms nice and wide, legs, a lot of enthusiasm in your legs. Squeeze your sits bones together, engage your core with your breath, and tuck yourself off of your tailbone. So you're posterior tilt, shoulders down, reach your arms nice and long, and then not too far down. And then you're gonna curl yourself back up. Let's do 3 more like that. Yeah. So, enthusiastic legs, tuck your tail, peel under, yeah, and then curl back up. So you wanna be mindful not to like fall into it. Because you know when you get to a certain point, it just feels like, oh, I'm gonna keep going. If you wanna stop, you know, don't go too far down. Yeah, good. Right, I'm gonna be right here with you for a second, Daniel. So go ahead and tuck your tail under. Keep tucking, keep tucking, keep tucking. There, see, feel the difference? I think it's because here your rib cage is in, so you're not straining quite so much. Now, don't do anything with those just yet. Roll over my fingers, and roll that way, and roll over, and curl up. Yeah. Okay. One more, just for that, so you can practice that. Good. Then we're gonna do the oblique version. So here, same thing, you're gonna tuck under, then you'll roll over to one side of your spine. You'll get down to about your waistband, yeah? And then curl yourself back up. We'll do the other side. No, let's do the same side and take it back. Let's do it again, down. Relax your elbows, yeah. And back up. One more. Hold, so your shoulders are rotating to this direction. Now, bicep curl. So, bicep curl, yeah. So put your thumbs to your shoulders, elbows in, yeah. and straighten, yeah, good, and straighten your arms. Straight, 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 and bicep curl. Yeah, so this is rotated, and you want this lined up, just like if you had a dumbbell in your hand, right? Yes, just like that. Yeah, so try this, Damon. Try holding it. Oh no, let's see if that helps. Yeah. Yeah, and then after you do about 3, curl all the way up, and we'll repeat that to the other side. But before you do, let's change the cross of your leg. Just so, you know.
Yeah, so we do roll ups or
We're
just
We're just gonna do the,
Just the
to the left, that side, left side. So you're gonna tuck under, roll to the oblique, curl back up 3 or 4 times. Yeah. You notice a difference between right and left?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, mine is more side.
So, again, dirty socks for a second. Just,
Oh, yeah.
You're fine,
yeah,
you're
dirty
fine.
socks.
You can take the short one. Relax your shoulders. Yeah. Tuck under, rotate. So your sternum is facing Patricia. Relax that arm. There we go. Yeah, relax. Yeah, and try again. Good. And after you've done about 3 or 4, then do some bicep curls. Yeah, and then you're going to, next time you come around, yeah, and we're gonna do the same strokes. Go tuck under, yeah, rotate to Patricia, and then bicep curl. Yeah, so this is my joke when I teach this. What did one shoulder say to the other shoulder? Keep your hands to yourself.
Yeah.
And go ahead and come on up and take break. Because what will happen when you're teaching it is this. People go, they will, instead of this, they will do this. Yeah. So you'll see it, you'll know. Remember that joke.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, roll down. So we're gonna move to kneeling abdominals. So we're gonna have one red, knees, your quadruped, with your knees underneath the shoulder pads, hands on the rails, just outside, just in front of your shoulders, not too far, just right for you. And we're gonna knit your ribs up, just not that much, just a little there, shoulders down your back. So here, what you're going to do is engage your lats and drag your knees to your hands without tucking your pelvis. Yes, try to avoid this. I'm gonna put my hand there. Don't let it pinch. So all here, all here. Yeah.
I'm going to use my lats.
All
Oh,
there
okay.
we go. Yeah. So about 4 to 6 here. Yeah.
It's not too big of a range of motion, right?
It's not a big range. And then, once you've done about 4 or 5, usually people get tired at about 4, you're gonna take your, take your left hand, put it on the rail with your right hand in front, yeah? And then look, as you pull, you're gonna look back for your right foot. So you're gonna do that same motion through the lats while you're getting this lateral flexion in your spine. Yes, that's it. That's good. All through the shoulders, staying out of the pelvis for now. This is the difference between flat back and round back. This is flat back, flat back. Rotate it. And once you've done about 4, change sides. Yep. So you might want this a little further forward so you get a little more range of motion. Yeah. Shoulders down. Good. And here you go. Looking for this foot. Look back here. Yeah. I think about it like a horse looking for his tail. Yeah. Or a dog. Yeah. And when you're done, you can come off of the machine. We're going to do some standing side splits. I'm gonna get some stickies.
I'm getting worked out.
So I typically would do this with, me personally, I would typically do with red, but I was doing it yesterday with red with my back stuff.
Oh, that's right.
Couldn't do it. I mean, it wasn't pretty. But so I would suggest, I think a red, if it feels like you can't get full extension, then we can go lighter. but you're taller, you're probably gonna need something more, like a red and a yellow, we can try. And we can, have you been doing this? Have you been practicing?
I have practiced, no a lot though, no a
I
lot.
would say, let's start with the red.
I might need to take my socks off.
Yeah, me too, yeah, that's why I'm putting this down, right?
And the other ones is different because we don't have the yellow, we have green.
Right.
So
and
I
that's-
think they're the same probably, the
Green,
green and the yellow.
green, no, green's heavier than red,
Oh,
but on those reformers up there, it might be different.
okay.
But like with these balanced body strings, green's the heaviest. Just a reminder that when you get up on the solid side, I'll go this way first. Get up on the non-moving side first, put your foot, I like to have my toe right by the edge, cause it gives me something to push against, right? So, but it's often demonstrated out. It's just a preference, I think. Now, again, getting down, this movement of stepping forward is really scary for people and puts their knees in kind of, unless you're gonna stand there and catch them. So if there's, in a classroom, you're gonna just probably want people to step back this way, okay? So, let's give it a try.
Okay.
So,
So red and yellow for me, just
let's
to,
try it. Let's try, let's.
facilitate the extension as you
Well,
come into
to keep it from going whoosh.
Okay,
I just don't want it to go flying out on here.
okay.
And then you want to do a split.
Right, how's that weight?
That feels perfect.
Okay, so check, I've got my foot's here.
Okay.
How's that feel? Feels good, okay. Alright, so chest lifted, so we're looking straight ahead. Yeah, and we're taking it out, and you may choose to add the arms, it's purely choreography at this point, yeah? And, I'm gonna talk while you're doing this. So a lot of times people who get, once they're comfortable up here, adds a lot of choreography, like arms overhead, or they call this picking the daisies, you know that. The main thing is that people feel stable and comfortable in this position. So, from here, you guys have all been out and in about 6 or 8 times, right? So from here, you're gonna bring the carriage in, but don't let it hit. So keep it about, 6 bones distance apart with your feet. So bring it in, hold, a little bit, hold. Try to keep don't let the carriage move, and you're gonna do a little squat. Try to keep the carriage still. Yeah, I know.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Oh, that's fun.
yeah. Yeah, and you wanna, the reason, this is a warm-up for the speed skater one, and you wanna be able to drive your hips back like you're really going into a squat. So here's what we're going to do. And we're gonna take that squat, drive your hips back through that groin, yeah? Put all of your weight on the right side and push out and in with the left. How's the weight?
Good.
Good. I'm gonna sit on my hands a little bit. There we go. Yeah. Good. Now, you're gonna push out. You're here, push out. Shift your weight to the other side and stand up and come in. Come down, push out, around and up. Yes. So down, push, shift your weight, and then come up. Go through that full weight shift. Push out. Now shift all the way to the side. So this knee's gonna bend, yeah, and then come up, okay? All right, finishing the one you're on. Let's practice getting down off the machine safely. So always stepping down with the moving side.
Oops, my bad,
Yeah. Ah, there we go.
my bad.
Good, okay, let's do the other side. And this is another opportunity to see if right and left are different. Because sometimes, especially in the hips, yeah? So I'm just put my hand up here, okay? So keep this in my hand as you go out. Keep lifting, 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 yeah. And we're gonna drop your tail a little bit. Yeah. Try again. Yes, that's much better. And obviously, this is a bit of a balance challenge, so make sure your gaze is focused on something that's not moving. And then of course we can make this harder if we had to, by changing the gaze, not just the arms. And one more. Yeah. Bring the carriage in, but don't let it touch the stopper, so your feet are about armpit distance apart. We'll take those squats again, trying to keep your carriage as still as you can. Good. And you're gonna sit in my hand, sit. There. You can tell, I can tell.
Yeah.
I'm asking you to go somewhere you don't wanna go.
Right.
But you're doing great.
Thank you.
Okay, then, let's do it. We're gonna come down, get into that nice squat, and then speed skater.
And you put the weight here and you don't.
And let this sits bone drive backwards. Yeah, and when you're ready, after you've done 4 to 6, then you can do the weight shift. Where you're gonna push out, shift, and come up. Press out, shift the weight, beautiful, and come up. Yeah, let's try again. And then press away, completely shift the weight, yeah, and then come up. Good job. All right, so again, let's practice finishing the one you're on and practice carefully stepping off the machine. Now, if you wanna just try going forward and see if you like that better, I just find it's challenging for me and it's scary for most people. Yeah, okay, good. Okay, so from here, long stretch. So we're probably, I have listed a red and a yellow here. Let's give it a try. You're gonna need your foot bar up.
Okay.
You might want it. So long stretch is the one, no, let's do that. You definitely want it in a hole, otherwise it will fall over. But I think you're smart enough that I think you can use this one. So remember, a long stretch is like a plank. So I'll just show you really quickly. Hands on the bar to mount, then bring the feet up, on toes, up against the shoulder pads, and you go into your push-up position. All you're doing is pressing out and in. This is lats, shoulders down your back, a lot of pelvic stability. That's it, okay? I think this weight should be fine, but if you need, this is one of those ones where less weight really makes it harder.
Yes.
Especially on the shoulders. So, if it feels totally unstable to you, let's add some weight. So locking those shoulders down nice and strong. Shoulders down your back. There we go. I'm gonna put my foot here, okay? Shoulders down. There. Ribcage knitted. Yeah, you're good. Yeah, good. Okay, how's it feel if your thumb's over the top of your bar? Yeah, now keep going, go, until, ooh, yeah, right until your core says that is not going any further. And maybe do 1 or 2 more. And to commit, when you get done, you're just gonna bend your knees, come down onto the carriage for a second. Yeah. We're gonna keep the spring tension and go into elephant. So with elephant, right, you're going to have sort of a, we're gonna go with more of a, this type back. So head down, so about like that. So there's space in between your hips and your armpits. And you'll press away with your heels. And then this is all kind of, yeah, so this, we're kind of glued like this, okay? And then, and let your head drop a little, good. Good, that's good, and then, good, and out. And one of the keys to elephant that you will struggle with as a teacher is people want to move their shoulders, because it's like, they want to be like long stretch. And this is really concerning me. No, it's just that this is uncomfortable. Yeah, okay. And then when you've done like 6 or 8, we're gonna come in, let your knees come down, take a break. We're gonna switch to one red for mermaid. I'm just gonna get into it real quick so you can see. So, hand on the bar in front of your shoulder, Z sit. So the back shin is theoretically up against the shoulder pads and the front leg is in front. So I'll turn this way so you can see. Okay. So shoulders down your back, hand in front of your shoulder, yeah? This elbow's gonna bend. Now watch what happens when I say bend this elbow, it drops that shoulder. So I'm not jamming my shoulder up into the ear, bend the elbow. We're pushing away from your left. So you're gonna press it away, reach the opposite direction, and then over the top. And what you're trying to have happen, ideally, is your sits bones stay pretty much down. And then go ahead and come back in, pretty much, yeah. So reaching up, push away. We're gonna encourage that sits bone down, yeah. And back. And let this be soft, yeah. And we're gonna let that bend a little bit. More. So you're pushing through here, not, yeah. Up and over, good. Now, widen your hand a little bit, so it's not quite as in front of you anymore. And we're gonna take your top hand and come all the way across. Yeah, shoulder blades block down your back, lock your elbows, so your elbows don't move. Let the carriage come in. Lift your chest, so your sternum bone's shining toward the wall in front of you, and then press back away. Shoulder blades down your back, collarbone lifts, good.
Is it swamp?
Like a
spoon?
Yeah, it is a little bit like a swan. Good. Now we're gonna do this. So you're gonna come back to your start position here, Saturday Night Fever, shoulder down. This time we're gonna come through, thread the needle, grab that frame on the other side, press away, and just stretch into that rotated stretch. And then inhale, try about 3 repetitions like that. So you'll inhale your arm back up to Saturday Night Fever. I'm gonna mess with your hand, sorry.
That's okay.
Here, let's try that. Okay, try it, see if that feels better to you. Yeah, it looks better. I don't know if it feels better, but it looks a lot better. Yeah. Yeah, and just give yourself that nice spine rotation.
Yeah, it feels so good.
Yeah. And if you've done 3 or 4, then just, well, and this is, I'll wait till you're done, Daniel, and then I'll show you. So from this position, to do the other side, just flip around. Just do a little, it's just a little, yeah. So for the first part of mermaid, your hand is just in front of your shoulder, elbows down, so you feel this engage as you come out from there. And again, the idea, the reason we want to try to glue the sits bones is like a rubber band, right? If we don't anchor one end of the rubber band, it won't stretch. It'll just keep going with. Can I come in here real quick? Go ahead and come on in. All right, and then you can do the thread the needle. No, we haven't done this one yet, sorry. 2 hands on the bar, square to the bar. Yes, press away. And you've got nice broad shoulders. You can have your hands wider.
Okay.
Because you want to come
Okay.
through, right? Yeah. Yeah, and then coming through and up. So it's like a flower blossoming. As you come through, it's like, flower looking for the light. Here it is. And shining out. Yeah.
That's a great analogy. I love it. I feel like a flower.
You sound like a flower. Okay, let's do the thread the needle. Yeah. Up and thread through. And this one you can just grab that frame. Yeah, give yourself a nice rotated stretch.
And this one the hand can be behind. That's okay.
Yeah, because we're encouraging that rotation. Good question. And finishing the one with your arm. Yeah, when you're done, we're gonna Oh, yeah, let's do that revert. We didn't do both sides, but you can rotate and twist to the other side, yeah. Yeah. And this one, it's like a push me, pull you, like one arm's pushing, the other arm's pulling to facilitate that stretch. If you wanna do both sides real quick, you can do that. So we're going to be back into footwork position with one red, head on the headrest, with your headrest elevated.
Just one breath?
Just one red. And just, we're gonna get rid of that. Okay. No, I'm sorry, just footwork. So your foot's on the
Oh,
ground.
I thought.
Fine. And, yeah. So I'm gonna suggest for what we're about to do, you want the middle of your foot on the bar. So I'm just gonna move you a little bit. Yeah. All right, take a second, like we just did at the beginning of the class, and kind of get yourself situated on the reformer. Feel all of the points of contact. Take a couple of deep breaths. Remind yourself of the breathing. So this is a little bit lighter weight. I just want you to breathe yourself out. Relax. It's almost like the carriage is moving itself. And breathe yourself back in. Another flower analogy, right? We blossom and I fold back in. Just opens and closes. Just about 3 or 4. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to change the weight for you so you don't have to move. Try one more. Nice and easy. And slow in. Just a little bit lighter. Go ahead and come in. So even more slowly, thinking about your breath causing the movement. In, breathing out. Letting your legs if you can, I think you can.
You inhale up.
Sorry?
You inhale up and exhale
You
down.
do what works for you. Because this is kind of tricky. It's going to change in a second.
Okay.
And you may want to, I think you're going to want to exhale. I think what you're going to do is inhale out, exhale in. But see how it feels to your body.
Okay.
Yeah, all the way up, all the way back in. Okay, I'm going to make it a little bit lighter now.
More.
So even more quiet, more relaxed, nice and easy.
Oh, I got you.
Let's just think about bend your knees, just bending the knees. Yeah. Go ahead and come all the way in, Danielle. I'm going to make it a little lighter, nice and slow, okay? Easy, easy. And for you, I'm going to take the weight away, okay? I got you. I'm not going to let you go anywhere. You're just going to relax. Just let your knees straighten. And then bend your knees. Good, that's awesome. Good job. And just practice the breathing. You're doing great. Okay, you're doing great. I'm gonna let go of you. Okay. Maybe one more and then just rest. We'll put more weight, the weight back on the rest. I'm taking it all the way up. I'm gonna put you waiting. Just now, don't do anything. Just rest for a second. Alright. Just straighten your legs. And just bend your knees. That's it. Great. How's that feel? Just try a few nice breaths like that. Just let it. So oftentimes when I first do this with someone, if I don't hold on, they go flying off to the back wall.
Have you ever had an accident? No?
No, because I know to
You catch them?
But then, you have to make sure they know not to push on the bar, because they'll go flying. Yeah. All right, let's finish this last one. We're gonna add some weight. So where you are, you can have your feet on where you like them, but on the bar or on here, if you like them draped over, that's fine. And just rest. So take just another moment here. And let's go ahead I'd like to have your feet connected to something.
Okay.
I don't care what it is, just connect them to something. Yeah, so let's do another quick check-in. Let's double check from where you were when you started today. Kind of think back, maybe close your eyes, take some deep breaths. Check in, see how the feet feel. And the pelvis. Was it left or right, back or forward? And the low back, how's that feel? Shoulder blades, rib cage, shoulders from left to right, neck, jaw. And take just a moment here, take a couple of deep breaths and just allow this sense of change that's happening. Allow your body to just get that imprinted into your body mind. Good. And then when you're ready, you're just going to roll over to one side and come to seated and take your time coming up. Yep. I know, some of those carriages are so short for you.
I know, it's okay.
Yeah. And how are you feeling?
Good.
I'm very relaxed now. Yeah, I got a little sweat though.
Yeah,
It
the
was
plank
great,
one was
yeah.
hard, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me stretch.
So, any questions?
I feel I have a better understanding with this spring relationship, so the springs are meant to facilitate the movement better as best they can. If you have too little springs, it might create a little bit of a imbalance and chaos.
Yeah, depending on the exercise, and that's what makes it so hard to be able to make a rule and say yes.
Right.
Because it will change depending on the exercise that you're doing or the purpose of the exercise. So for example, let's say you're working with somebody who wants to do strength training. Maybe they're an older adult that wants to build bone density. So you could work with progressing spring tension, you know, to helping build bone density. But the idea is to watch, just like you would in the weight room. You wouldn't add weight if they can't do a large number with good form, right? So I did a webinar with the athletic trainer for Penn State about rehabbing injuries, particularly knee injuries. And she said she doesn't progress, she has everybody start with body weight. She doesn't progress anyone on anything until they can do 30 with good form. And so think about that as kind of a rule in terms of, with the idea of the weight training idea. You know, like I need more weight to do this. But otherwise, because we do an hour, we just did an hour pretty much of movement activity. We didn't do any exercise to failure, but there were some exercise where you felt like, ooh, that was challenging. If we were trying to do every exercise to failure, you'd never get through this class because we're using the whole body all the time. So you'd be fried before we got halfway done. So I know that doesn't exactly answer your question.
No, but it helps, yeah.
It's kind of, and everyone's different. And it's gonna change for people that are heavier and that have longer levers are gonna have a different need for different spring tension than people that are compact. And so you kind of just have to practice. But there's a general, like we started out with 2 reds and a blue, for example, and we were like, yeah, we could go a little heavier. We can do that. It's okay to just change it. It's all right to feel like, all right, we can change it. But what will happen is you'll have clients that will say, oh, that's not heavy enough. And then we have to look and say, well, let's keep it here for a little bit and see how it goes. And then we'll determine if we need to add weight. So it's kind of you have to kind of make that judgment call as you're going along. And teaching a class is the hardest because you'll have a bunch of people that are all different and you're trying to accommodate all of their differences. So generally speaking, you know, when we give the spring tension recommendations at the top of the page, it's a recommendation but it's based on, what you end up using is based on the person's strength, flexibility, ability to control, you know, mobility and those things.
So it's almost like a checklist, kind of with the patients.
Yeah, you're
Profile.
looking to see if they're able to perform the task with good form easily, you know, and then maybe, and you don't have to progress it with spring tension, you can progress it with a prop, like, that was a lot harder, right, having your,
Oh, yeah.
it's a lot harder just doing that. So you don't have to progress with spring tension. Again, the key is to ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why did I choose this exercise? And for that reason why, whatever it is, that will determine how you decide to progress, whether it's with a prop or more springs or less springs, like that. It's kind of like, it's just finding the sweet spot, and it just takes practice.
Yeah, it's just practice. There is no, with the sprints, there is no like a footwork this, hazel strap this. No, it like, what my understanding, they give you a suggestion, and then you try that suggestion, and then you can modify it.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, yes, and it'll,
Or increase.
right.
Exactly.
So for example, you know, I have a client who's, I don't know, he's big, he's at least your size, and he's probably 30 pounds heavier at least, but he's had 2 shoulder surgeries. So when we start working with the shoulder, we're doing the same way, he and I, right? Because we're working the mobility of his shoulder and the stability rather than trying to
Increase the strength.
yeah, so it's just understanding why you're doing it, and I like to kind of sneak up on, let's just start here and make sure you can be successful. And my philosophy in teaching is I want everyone to be successful because I want them to have a positive feeling that they'll want to come back and keep doing this. So I want to make you sufficiently challenged but successful, so you're going to want to come back, and then we can start working on from there what we need to do.
Yeah, like with the hundreds, if I feel for me, if I just used yellow, I wouldn't have had as much control, so
Oh,
the
right.
red and the yellow helped me
Right,
achieve that.
yeah, so I was doing it yesterday, I was doing this yesterday at home, just to double check the spring. I tried it with 2 reds, and that was like, whoa,
It's too much.
that's a disaster,
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. So sometimes I have to do that too, where I'm like, let me try that on myself and see what that feels like. So that's what we
Oh, thank
did
you.
today. And then let me give you this other one.